Well, let's talk then about the Sharpeville Massacre in the 60s, where people were killed, close to 70 according to the official count, killed by apartheid police in a march against past laws. We're joined tonight by the Umsamo Institute President, Professor Bhedlindaba Mkhize. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. How would you characterize the events of Sharpeville in shaping the South Africa we have become?
Thank you very much, Chembegile and Khototo. Thank you very much to the viewers and also to the studio crew. You know, when you talk about the Sharpeville, really one has to sit down and say, have I to celebrate it? If I'm celebrating it, why? Because I'll be very honest with you, we as Africans, we are ruled specially by spirituality. We are spiritual human beings, meaning that those who have been before us in our lives, even if they fought for something or not, but they are still alive, somewhere where we don't know. Now, as you hear Mashaba, I'm not saying that I'm saying anything, but as we hear Mashaba, he is actually raising a very, very critical issue here. He went to the grave, he looked at the graves, and they are in a very shaky condition. Now, for me, there are so many things which today should have been made as museums, should have been made as historical, symbols, where our upcoming generation will go there, not only to celebrate, but to mourn and also write history in their minds and start philosophically thinking what really motivated these people to do this. Was it only just for power, or was it only just for impression, or was it really who pushed them? Look, I'm one of the people who believe in ancestral spirituality. I believe that each and every individual or human being is doing whatever is doing because of his past, because of the spirit that is in him. It's not everybody who can do something that has been done by somebody else. I always sit down and say, why so-and-so has actually decided to do this? So when we talk about Sharpeville, we have to think about again and say, are we really celebrating these people? Are we really saying these people, they did what they did for ourselves if we are at this situation today? There are a number of things, Mkhototo, I can talk about. I don't want to be irrelevant here. There are a number of musicians who have never been recognized, but when we talk about that incident, to me, it hits hard and say, if you look at the things that are happening today, why are they happening? Do we have what we call in the Sizulu, unembeza, conscience, ubuntu? If ever I'm doing anything, do I remember about those people, the suffering that they went through?
But there's also the element, is it not, when you talk about Sharpeville, there's been the ongoing political issue about the fact that it wasn't an ANC-led demonstration, and people have argued that that is perhaps why the sacrifices of that particular movement have, to a degree, not been given the same prominence as those or led by leaders of the African National Congress. Do you think that is a factor?
Can we separate two things here, Mkhototo? I'm not a politician, and thank you very much that my ancestors made me not to be a politician, and I'm happy for that. We have to differentiate between politics, Ubuntu, and being an African. So in other words, whether ANC is supposed to recognize that or not, we'll be putting it into a political basket. All what I'm saying is, we as African people, we as black people, where is the conscience of that? Let's forget about ANC. I always tell a lot of people who always come to me and say, guys, you will continue focusing on ANC. You will continue blaming ANC. ANC is a political party. What is it that we as black people, whether we are professors or doctors or academics, are we making noise or are we doing something? For me, all I'm saying is, when will the time come when we will say, guys, so-and-so has given money to start the Sharpeville location where it really happened and build a museum there. Don't involve the MC. You can involve the MC, the Minister of Arts and Culture, to say, come and open it up or whatever. And then also some other places as well. I think in this country, the mistake that we are doing is that whatever we're doing, we always throw it into the hands of the ANC. The ANC, yes, it's a political party. They fought for us. They fought for the rights. They did everything. We have the Human Rights Day today because of them. But what is it that we as African black people, whether you are DA, whether you are EFF, whether you are IFP, or whether you're an ordinary person like Mkhize, or you are a professor, an academic, what contribution are you doing? Whether is it at the intellectual level or is it at physical level?
And on the issue of apartheid and discrimination, especially that disadvantages the black majority in this country, as was going on back then already, apartheid formally has come to an end, but the lives of black people in South Africa are still lagging far behind those of the white minority. Why do you think that is 30 years, almost 30 years since the realization of a democratic state?
Definitely, Mkhototo. You know, it goes back to what I've said. Some other people say I'm repeating myself. The ANC, Mandela, and the Rivonia tribes, they liberated us. They fought for us. And thereafter, if they fought for us, what is it that we now, as the black people, have done? What conscience that I have actually developed in myself? Let me give an example. We always mourn and cry about corruption and fraud. We say the ANC has done this and this and this. That's fine. But you as an individual, what have you done? Let me give an example. There are so many WhatsApp groups outside here. Academics and whatever, they talk this and this and this. Then I just laugh and say, where is the implementation? When are we going to implement? All what we want in this country is that, yes, we are liberated. As Herman Mashaba is saying, we are on the 29th year. That's fine politically. But in terms of us, let me give an example for argument's sake. When I grew up as a young boy, there was a standard 6, where with standard 6 you could be a plumber, you could be an electrician, you could do whatever, what we today look at it as a low-scale job. But now the foreigners, they came back into this country. They are the mechanics. They are the plumbers. All what we are promoting today is promoting graduates and degrees. We can't all be managers. We need skills people. What are we doing? What is the Department of Education there getting to that doing? We are actually so arrogant and proud about saying this province had so many percentage, 90, 70, and so what? We need to go back to the basics. We need to say, stop to be a Dr. Mkhize, stop to be a professor. What implementation are you doing? Stop making noise. Stop blaming the political parties. To understand. Yesterday we had the EFF, what we call protest, whatever. Some are saying it was good, some are saying it was bad. For me, it was good because, I'm not supporting AEFF, because there was no disruptions, there were no looting, there was nothing. But it's just, a right to say, guys, let's think about that. I'm not saying that, I'm not pushing their agenda, but I'm saying, look, we all have the rights. I've got a right in myself. I'm a traditional spiritual healer myself. I'm a philologist. I can actually put together all the traditional healers and say, guys, look, let's take a march from Pretoria to Joburg and say, when are we going to be recognized? When are we izimbiza going to be sold in the pharmacies and so on, without being political? The problem that I'm trying to say today is that we are too much in politics. And each and every statement that you utter, oh yes, is political. There are those who will say, we are Umsamo Mkhize, he's being political. No, let's be objective rather than be subjective. Let's not categorize people, but let's say, what sort of a legacy as an individual will I leave for this country? We are talking about Sharpeville today. Those people, they left the legacy. So therefore, the legacy that they left, we need not only to celebrate it, we must build it. There must be a museum. Whoever, I'm not interested to the international visitor. I'm interested to our young people. What is that building is? Why are we not building a college there, or a university there, or a school there? We call it Sharpeville something, something that will stay in the minds of the people.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Professor Bhedlindaba Mkhize.